What's up everyone, it's Matt Morozik, and this will be a review of the Morbius kit from Lucifiction Studios. This actually came in like 2 weekends ago. This is for a client, and this was actually scheduled to be painted a few months ago, but as with most kits and statues, things are delayed, so I switched some people around. This came in, so this is going to be done. This is slated to be done after I do the Cyclops repaint for Chris Crespo. I switched Chris and this client since I was waiting on this piece. So once the Cyclops is done, I'll tackle this guy. So I already unboxed it because it's just, again, unpacking these things take a while, but straight off the bat, the packing was excellent. Black foam inserts, everything was bubble wrapped very well. If you watch Gemini's YouTube channel, he unboxed the video. He did an unboxing and review of the painted statue, and just like with the painted statue, all the hair had foam bits in between all the strands of hair and everything, keep them from breaking. So packing was very, very good. I did have a few little pieces break, but nothing major. You know, and it's no big deal if something breaks, something small breaks, but the packing was excellent. So it's not because the packing was bad, it's just because the parts that broke were maybe a little fragile. So has an edition size of 35. I love the sticker on the bottom here, it's really cool. Nice shot of the Morbius head. I'm not sure what number this is because they didn't fill it out, so maybe Lisa can tell me what number we have or my client has. This thing is impressive. It's cool, you know. It's like I wasn't, you know, it's hard to tell sometimes in pictures. When Lisa got the prototype in, they took photos of it. Not to knock Lisa's photography skills, sorry Lisa, but the photos really didn't show it off very well. And if you watch the Gemini's statue review, you'll see that the painted piece is done very, very well. The factory did an excellent job on the paint. So props to Lucifiction Studio, because I think this is their second release. The first one was the Flash, which I have a kit of, and this is the second one. So if you're on the fence of getting a piece from Lucifiction Studios, they have a few pieces in the work. Don't hesitate. The quality is there. So let's look at this. And this is, I'm going to start off the review saying this is how you do a kit. Okay, this is how you do a unpainted kit statue, or any kit. Look at all the pieces. This is how you do a kit. You break it all apart. You don't have anything glued together. There isn't a single piece on here that's been glued together. Everything was done individually and separate. I'll go over here in the portraits in a second, but the hair comes off, which is awesome because it'll make painting the hair in the portraits way easier. There won't be any masking on the portraits except for the eyes. But yeah, this is how you do it. You break all the pieces down. Like the teeth are separate, the tongues are separate, the leaves that go on the base are separate. So there's a little bit of actually, I don't know if there'll be I dare say it, any masking on this. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but other than hand painting vines and stuff, there really isn't, I don't think there's gonna be much masking. Maybe a little bit on his outfit. So I'm gonna go over some of the pieces real quick. I'm gonna get the base out of the way because it's big. And then we'll kind of put some, I haven't tried to put it together yet, so I'm not sure how much I will be able to put together, but I want to go over some of the pieces here. The sculptors are done extremely well. I have to look up the sculptor because I'm not sure who it is off the top of my head. So let's look at the portraits. You get 5. And as much as I complain about having a lot of switch outs, these are pretty damn cool. So again, I say this all the time, I'm not a comic guy, so I'm not familiar with Morbius. I know I think he was in a Spider-Man, one of the Spider-Man comics. But here's one of the portraits, and the hair comes off. Look at that. Oh, that's so awesome. So then it makes painting the portrait much easier. I can paint the portrait. Oops, and that's actually in 3 pieces. It's actually, so you paint the portrait, you paint the hair, then you put the hair back on. And it makes life so much easier for a painter. So yeah, nicely done there. I'm not sure if they asked the factory to do that or the factory just does that automatically. So then there's a little bit of maybe seam work that'll have to be done once the hair is on, but you can paint 90% of the hair, kind of fix that seam a little bit, and then just touch it up. But the sculpt is amazing. I just love the expression in the face. Great veining through the neck here. This is a really cool piece. I'm going to take the hair off, and I'm going to see if I can find the pieces that go in the mouth of this one. I'm not sure which ones they are. D. Okay, so the back of the head is labeled D. Here is some teeth with the label D. And so these should just fit in somewhere. I'm assuming this goes in this mouth. I'm not going to force it in there because I don't want to get stuck. I'm pretty sure that goes in there like that. And then here's the bottom. So again, you paint these separately and then you put them in. You might have to do some touch up once they're in, but you get the majority. But you can like really like the top of the mouth. You can do the inside of the teeth, which are really hard to paint once they're on a statue or in a mouth. Again, this may need a little shaving and sanding to get to fit, so I'm not going to force it. But that's the lower jaw. And then the tongue is separate, which is great. So let me see if I can find the tongue that goes with this. E, D. So here's the tongue D, labeled again with where it goes. So again, nicely done, separate piece. So you can paint the tongue, you paint those teeth, you put the bottom in, and you're good to go. Again, right now this is a little tight because of all the primer, but love the way they did that. Again, hair is separate. I love that. I've always loved it when the hair is separate. The first time I saw that was on one of the Sosa kits I have, quarter scale Ken. So I'm going to put this guy aside, and we'll look at the next portrait. Alright, here's another portrait. These are all different expressions and such. Again, love the hair, love the sculpt. This looks like another version of the first portrait, just a slightly different expression. Or maybe these are all like different stages of his transformation. Someone may have to chime in and let me know. But again, this is labeled, so I can take the hair off, paint the hair. This is the E portrait, so anything that's labeled E would go in here. And here's a set of teeth with an E stamped on the bottom. And these will go in here. Now in this one they just made the teeth separate. They didn't make the top of the mouth separate, but that's okay. The mouth is really open, so it's easy to get to. That's a B. E. Here's the lower jaw. Again, I haven't tried fitting any of this together, but this will have to take a little sanding to get it in, just around the corners here. Again, I don't want to force it, but that'll go in there. Can paint those separate. And here's the tongue for E right here. And it just, I think that just sits in like this. Yeah, it just kind of keys in there. So you could glue that together before you put it into the mouth, I think, and then put that in. So again, awesome job with the separate pieces and having these casted separately. But again, great sculpt. I love the hair. The hair's really done really well. And this is really cool. They give you full ears even though you don't even see them. They're tucked in under the hair, but the ears are all there. You don't even see them, but they gave you, oh, you see this one. You see the left ear. But the right ear is completely hidden, but it's been sculpted anyway. So nicely done. And again, on here, there's a little couple bubbles I got to fix, but you know, nothing major, nothing to be unexpected. That gap's a little big right there, so paint most of the hair, glue it on, fix the seam, and touch it up. Not too difficult. Right, let's look at the next portrait. This guy's just scary. Again, the hair's separate, so I'll take it off so I don't drop it and break it. This is the B portrait. So again, you look for the pieces labeled B. Like this is B right here. And I think this is the upper teeth. Yeah. Those key in perfectly. Look at that. Whew. That's scary. Here's the lower teeth. I think that's the lower teeth, yeah. Looks like these key in really well too. Yep, those will fit nicely. And then the tongue, which I think is the only one right here, is the last one. So this is just loosely put in there, but again, sculpted and given to you as separate pieces. For a painter, that is priceless. You have no idea. So any other producers that may watch this, when you have your kits made, ask the factory to leave things in as many pieces as possible. A lot of people think that more pieces means more work. It's actually the quite opposite. The more pieces, the less masking there is, and masking takes a long time. This seam on this head looks really, really good. A few small bubbles to take care of on the top. Again, fantastic sculpt. Done really well. I have to look up the sculptor because I don't know who it is. Okay, so here we've got 2 more portraits to go. I'm not going to take the hair off on these guys. There's this one. I may have already looked at that one. I can't remember. And then the final one, where it's kind of like he's going from human to Morbius mode, is mid-transformation. The factory did a great painting job right here, where they went from the kind of Morbius dead skin to the human flesh. They did a really good job on that. Alright, so there's the portraits. You saw the teeth. Over here we have like all the leaves and the little things that go on the base. Let's look at the big statue that goes on the base, and this is one part where I had a little breakage. Nothing big. So the way it was packed, and it was packed very well, but the one thing they should have done on this, like they did on the Morbius torso, it was packed like this, but there was no bubble wrap between the top and bottom, so I got one little piece of chip out right here, and I have the pieces in the box. Now when they did I'll show you in the Morbius body here in a second. So yeah, this has all been separated, kept separate, which on this piece I'm not sure it's as big of a deal, because I think it all pretty much goes the same color because it's a stone statue. But again, the fit is really good. The foam cutout in the box has it all as one piece, so when I get done with this, she will be epoxied into one piece, but really beautifully done. Great, man. She's going to paint it really, really nice. And then I'm just going to put this over to the side so I don't drop it. I'm going to look at the top part. And then we have one of her arms is actually here. It keys in. And I'll pin that. I probably won't glue it in. I'll probably leave that separate, so for shipping purposes, or add a magnet, because there's no magnet right now, but I'll probably add a magnet. So that's really nice. And then I'll show you on the base later, but on the base, her broken arm goes on the base. So like this arm's broken off and it's on the base. So I'm going to take the head off so I don't drop it. And then we got her wings. And these fit in really, really nicely. I mean, the fit on this is excellent. Now this has magnets, but they don't feel real, like, well, they may hold. Yeah, they may be okay. But really, really pretty. Look at that wingspan. Really nice. Nice job, guys, at Lucifixion and the sculptor. So I'm going to put her aside for now. And then we'll look at the Morbius body. Now that part's actually pretty simple of the base. So the way they had this packed, he was actually kind of put together like this, but they had bubble wrapped around through his crotch over the top of the torso, so that it wouldn't move around. If they would have done the same thing on the statue, it wouldn't have had any chip out. So just that one little thing creates just a little bit of work on that breakage. I'm not complaining about the breakage, but as a suggestion for packing on future statues, Lisa, this one was perfect because it had the bubble wrap going around the crotch over the neck, and it just kept things from moving. But this is a great sculpt. I mean, the muscle on this is awesome. I love the stitching on the back. Done extremely well. Here are the slots for the his wings. I'm going to put this down so I don't drop it. We don't want to break anything. So actually I'm going to put an arm in because it plugs into an arm. And I had one little finger break, and nothing because the packing was excellent. One finger there, so a pin and a rod. They actually had foam in the hand, so it just got jarred or something in shipping, which is no big deal. The arms go in. They should go in like so. There it goes. It's a tight fit, which is good. So this will get glued in and epoxied, and I'll fix that seam. And because you have to have that in for the wings. Probably leave the wings separate if I can. We'll see. Maybe not. You may have to. Yeah, probably have to put the glue the wings in when you do the arms. So ideally what you would do as a builder painter is you'd be able to put the arm on, glue it, seam it, and have all that together, paint the wings separate, and then put it in. So I think I'll be able to do that. I'm just going to grind this key off right here, and then it'll slide right in to place, and I'll be able to avoid having to put the arm to, like, put this all together and mask the wing off to paint it. So that's an easy solution to that. But this is a nice tight fit. I may have to actually go in and grind it out a little bit. It's a little tight, but no big deal. And then we have the same thing on this side. This arm actually fits a little bit better. It's not quite as tight. I'm actually take this other one off so I don't drop it and break all the fingers. So let me do that. Let's see, he may stay if I put a wing on. Sorry, I'm a little off camera right now. Okay, so right now there's a little bit of kind of fitting issue with the wing and the arm and the hand, or the wing and the arm. So again, I may have to grind off one of the keys on the wings just so I can get everything to fit correctly, but that's no big deal. Basically what I'll probably do is get the arms fitting the way they should, the way I want. You know, get those in there and get them seamed, and then worry about getting the wings to go in afterwards. That's probably the best course of action, because again, if that top key wasn't there, this would just slide right in and we'd have a good fit. Okay, so that kind of goes over the parts. I'm going to bring the base back over and see if we can put him together a little bit. Again, I'm not sure how much I will be able to put together. I probably won't put the arms on just so I don't break fingers, because they're just a pain to fix. You got to pin them all. Alright, so here's the base. And the dimensions of the base before we put anything on it, from front to back, about 20 inches, and the widest part is about 15 inches, okay? So this plugs in right here. That will probably get epoxied into place. Looks like it lines up pretty good. I've got a little bit of some gapping here, right here in this area, that I'll probably I'm not sure if I need to just take the key down a little bit to get to sit down deeper. I think if I just sand the bottom of the key more, I think that's what the factory should have done, is just sand the bottom of the key more. I think it would have sat down all the way. So if I just go out with a grinder, a belt sander, I think it'll sit down all the way, and I can avoid doing any seam work. That would be ideal. Would back up. Let's see. Let's get her on first. So that goes like that. Got to back way up to get her to get the whole thing in. And then this goes on like so. My big belly's in the frame. I'm actually working on my big belly. I've changed the way I eat. No more sugar or carbs. So there you go. That's impressive, man. Total height on that is 26 inches. So good size. I'm going to put a turntable underneath it. Okay, here we go. And so I got all these little leaves and everything, and all the leaves are numbered actually. You can't see it from there, but They all have little letters on them, and they all tell you where they go on the base. So I'm not going to worry about putting them all on, but like this is number 4, and so I'm assuming there's a hole somewhere around here is labeled number 4. So, but they're all numbered, which is really, really handy. It may go right there, I'm not sure. And they looks like they only fit one spot, just the way they're keyed. So that's always really handy when they do that. You'll basically know if it fits or not because it won't go in. So yeah, that's cool. I can put in some of these plants. These guys I can put in. Put that one in, goes there. And then this guy goes over here. There's a little bit of resin sludge in there, so this may not fit in there all the way. I have to go in there and grind that out. C, yeah, these are labeled too. Like that. And I think the pre-paints, these all came separate also. These weren't like glued to the base because these would break pretty easily. So same thing, I'll keep those separate for my client. So you got those little guys that go in, and we can put on her broken arm pieces. These only fit one way. Right there. And right here, they're keyed very nicely. Yeah, we're done really well. Those I may glue on because there's a vine right here actually that looks like it should, if you seam it, it'll look like one piece. Same thing over here. These will probably just get glued on because I don't think those will break. Alright, let's put Morbius up there. Nice big keys. Nice big pin in his right foot. And he fits beautifully in there. There's a little gap around here to this toe. I may go in and fix that. And if you've watched my videos, it's pretty simple. You go in, slather petroleum jelly all over the foot, put a little body filler in there, and then squish it down. And then once that's dry, you take the foot out and clean it up, and it's a perfect key. So there's a little bit of a gap right there. I'll fix it. I'm gonna put the wings on the Angel. Sorry, I'll be in the frame when I do this. So you can kind of get a sense of what those look like on. Sorry, I know I'm in front of the statue. So I may add a pin to the bottom of the big one. It's a little heavy, and the magnet kind of wants to hold. Probably when there's paint on there, there'll be enough kind of friction between the magnet and the magnet and the paint will probably hold it on. I don't think I can put her other arm on without it and have it stay. Yeah, well. Okay, there's no magnet on it, it's just friction fit. And then we can put Morbius's torso on. Like that. And again, I know one arm I can put, I'm not sure I can put this other arm on. I don't think it'll stay on. Even if I have the wing, I don't think it'll stay. No, I'm in front of the camera again, sorry. Which one is it? This one. I'm going to see if I can put this on. Yeah, so that goes like, I'm not gonna let go, but it goes like that. It's not gonna want to stay on. The other one I can put on and it'll stay. It's got that tight fit to it. Can I get a sense? Again, I'm not gonna leave that arm on, but you get the sense there. I'm going to take it off just in case. I don't want to break more fingers. And then we'll throw a few of the portraits on. Looks like they got nice big magnets. and a nice key. Let's put this guy on first. Keys in there very nicely. Yeah, good fit. Looking good. This is a cool piece. This is gonna be a lot of work. I forgot what I quoted on this, but I'm sure it's pretty. It's probably too low for what how big this piece is and how much there is to it. I mean, he's got 5 heads. That right there is a lot of work. Is that portrait? Now the base this will be a wider piece with the arms on. I can't get, if you want, I'll put a link down below to Geminite's pre-paint review, and you can get the full dimensions from that. That portrait. Two more, and then we'll call this review done. Oh. This one's a little tricky. He's got 3 pieces of hair, so it's a little harder to get him to stay on. Yeah, cool. And then the last one. All the heads fit. It's key in very well to the body. I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way. I'm gonna spin around a little bit, not too much. That wing's gonna want to hit up there. Yeah, pretty cool. Great stance on Morbius. He's like coming right at you. This thing looks really good from all angles. I mean, some stuff doesn't look good from all angles, but this has a great profile, great front view, and even the back view, just because the Angel is so awesome looking. It's got a great back view. So, man, this is an impressive piece. I know they have, Lucifixion has a bunch of stuff in the works, and they're having a hard time people getting to order them. So if you're on the fence, grab one, because the quality is there, guys. So yeah, in short, I think it's an excellent kit. I like the fact that they've broken everything up as much as possible. The packing was excellent, even though I had those 2 little pieces of breakage. No complaints. Sculpt is great. Overall, the fit, I'd say the fit's probably 9 out of 10. There's a few little things I'll have to work on, like the foot over there. That foot, getting the arms to fit correctly a little bit, and this bottom part of the statue into the base. But it's not that bad. I mean, it's a kit. All kits need work, so there's never a kit that's ready to put together and paint. So there you go. That's my review of the